To me, that's what it is. So what she's done for me is give me another level explosion of love in our life, which I didn't think there could be more than what we already share in our family here. And she's given me a chance to renew and look at life through her eyes,
Yeah.
which are very special eyes. When someday when she's out there meeting people, they'll see she's one of those people when somebody comes to the house and she stares in their eyes for like 20 minutes and doesn't, she freaks people out. She's like this little Buddha. And, but her presence is extraordinary. And I know every parent thinks their kid is amazing, and I'm sure there's some of that that's going on here. But I don't know. It's a long answer to say she's a gift. And what's different today for me is have more to give. And what's different is I'm not forcing those gifts. I'm witnessing and appreciating and shaping where the shaping maybe, perceives to be valuable. But I want to make sure this young woman feels loved beyond compare, but also has a sense of responsibility to life, that I'm here not just to get things, I'm here to give things. If we accomplish just those two things in our daughter, between the three of us, I think we'll have done something really beautiful for her life, and most importantly, the lives that she'll touch in whatever form that is, whatever gift she brings to this world.
Wow. If her consciousness has invited your witness to be here now and take in more of the grace of her isness, I think that's really beautiful for you, Tone. So
Thank you. You
I
slowed
think
me
that's
down, too.
That's what I mean. I was just going to say, I think for you to be able to appreciate and to admire and to watch her unfold,
Yes.
and to watch her flower, I know from my own perspective, there's nothing more beautiful.
I agree,
and I
honey.
see that in you. I watch you just noticing and appreciating, and I think that's ever so lovely. And thanks for sharing, Tone. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm her biggest fan, along with the two of you.
I love the excitement that people can hear and the passion about this girl dad we have here. It's very excited about it. And if you're scratching your head of why this kid has three parents, you're going to have to listen to the Mother's Day episode. That's all I just want to throw that in there.
Well, I'm very grateful to you, Mary B. This has been a long road. Sage and I together, when we first met, talked about having children, but her doctor told her she would never have a child in a million years. And then we had the experience of pregnancy and loss. But for both of us, it's like, how are we going to make this happen? And we didn't want a stranger. And ironically, if you don't know the story, I won't give it all out, but plant the seed in case you didn't listen. You have to listen to Mother's Day podcast to find out how our dear Mary B came in to be our family and to be the third parent of this child by giving her the grace of a way to be born and grow and be brought into birth. So I'm grateful beyond compare. And all you fathers out there, and I don't know if you're hard on yourself or not. Most men are hard on themselves. Women may not know that, but most men are hard on themselves. As hard as you think you can be on a man, most men who have any sense of responsibility and have any child are hard on themselves. Some of them try to hide it. Some trying to push it away because they don't know how to deal with it. But I'd say to you, wherever you are, pick yourself up and decide what you want to be now. How do you want to be as a dad now? And if you're not a dad right now, is there someone who needs your brotherhood or your fatherhood, needs your mentoring? Because every one of us has lessons. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be a certain way. Everyone who's lived a life has had life experiences that are worth sharing if they're coming from a place of not trying to teach, but they're coming from a place to try to love and serve and just share. I think most men live lives where they don't share as deeply as maybe some women do sometimes. That may be too big a generalization, it probably is. But I would say as an overall generalization, men keep their emotions closer. But they'll bring them to one special person that they have total trust and respect for, that knows that nothing they say they'll be judged by, and who knows that they've lived life. And so not only do they not judge them, but they understand and they can share other perspectives. And that's all I think we can offer each other as brothers, as men, as fathers on the path. And for your children, you're going to screw up. No, there are no professional parents. That's why I'm in the business I'm in. But I hope this conversation has been stimulating of you in some way. And I know the ladies are going to take it from here and share with you a woman's perspective, because both of them have extraordinary fathers that have shaped them powerfully. So thanks for letting me appear on the Tony Robbins podcast. Sage Robbins and
You could talk to our assistant and see if they do the scheduling, if you might be able to come. We'd love to have you back. Maybe we can make this a regular thing.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tone.
Love to you.
Love to you.
Whether it's darkness, light, whether it's sadness, joy.
I think we could tell folks about Tone. And has anyone listening seen the show This Is Us? Just ended. And we often watch that show. And Tony will be the first one every time as soon as the credits roll that says, well, they got me again. And he's always in tears
True.
at This Is Us.
True.
So if you're listening and you think you know who Tony Robbins is, do you know that he's also the softie, the warm father, the guy who cries at pretty much every episode of This Is Us?
So true.
A few weeks ago, Sage and I sat right here and we recorded an episode, a conversation in honor of Mother's Day. And we vowed at the end of that episode that we would do the same for dear old dads. So here we are, coming up on Father's Day. And we would like to send some flowers and some homage and some respect and admiration for father energy.
Absolutely. Well, when we spoke about motherhood, it went larger than motherhood. It was the attributes of the divine feminine. And, I feel that today is really a representation of the divine masculine, which once again, this is within all of us, whether you're male or female. We have both attributes and we have access to both within us.
Tony often says, if I want you to think about your father, all I have to do is talk about mine. So I would love to ask you, and to start, Sage, by saying, you sure have an awesome dad.
I certainly do.
And I wonder if you could tell people a little bit about him and what makes him him, and the attributes and fundamentals of father energy, both in your own father and universally, to get us started.
My daddy, my pops is legit.
Sure is.
He is just a real embodiment of such character and integrity and absoluteness. And as much as he has strength, he has such a tender heart. He's so dear. And his presence, even though as we were growing up through life, he worked multiple jobs supporting the family. And even if he wasn't physically present, my father's presence was always felt. One of the things I enjoy and so appreciate about my daddy is I can walk into a room and we can just make eye contact and no words even exchanged, and there's so much said in that space. Even today I called and I was like, hey, Pops. And he's like, hey, sweetheart, how you doing? He's like, here's your mother. That's it.
He's a strong silent type, your dad.
He is.